recently, some changes have been happening in the skullgirls community. The current devs for skullgirls, a lot of them who have been working with the game since I believe its release, so they're pretty good, hardworking, like veterans of the game. They've earned their keep. They've earned their keep to keep working on the game, to iterate on the game, and to sort of take the torch. They've been finding themselves in a lot of controversy, mainly with like the old guard fans of Skullgirls, or people who bought Skullgirls early on and have been fans for a while, about censorship. And my take on the censorship thing is, it's not that interesting. I love Skullgirls. I have for a long time. I genuinely think it's a beautiful and fun and interesting and great game, and gracious and worth your time, and worth your admiration and time and love. But I am sad about these changes. I hope that the team, they listen to the fans. I know the fans have been really angry, really like rambunctious, online, nerdy, geeky fans. But, between all this discussion, I think that the sentiment is true. Hey, the art in this game is important to a lot of people. It's good, it's important, and people have a big admiration for this art. People have a lot of admiration, a lot of love for this art. And that it was like the main selling point of the game is that, hey, if you like this art style, if you like these characters, if you like 2D animation, if you like all this stuff, we have this game for you. And it's a very special game in that sense, and it came out in a time where that was really rare. So I just don't think it's that interesting. Yes, it happens. Yes, it got changed, but I just hope they turn back, or at the very least they just stop changing so much. They decide, hey, that's enough. We've heard the people. We made our changes. We're sticking to them, but we're not going to do anymore. I would be fine with that. It is what it is, right? It is something that's easily moddable. I'm sure people are working on it right now just due to the scandal. But an interesting conversation too that has been sort of rummaging. I don't know if that's the word, but yeah, that has sort of been bubbling up thanks to this controversy is the idea that hey, the people complaining about this, they don't really play the game, or the people defending these changes, well, they don't really play the game. And in the context of any game, any other game, that's fairly simple, right? Hey, you're literally not playing the game. Hey, why are you complaining that Trails of Mana has fan service? You weren't gonna play this game. Hey, why are you complaining that X game got censored? You weren't really gonna play this game, right? It doesn't really matter to you. And I think that's usually it's an easy argument to make, maybe even a little lazy, but it's a fine argument, right? It is what it is. It's basically just a shut up. I know more than this about you. But in the context of fighting games, it gets really interesting because the meaning of you don't even play the game essentially boils down to this FGC dick measuring contest. You don't actually play the game because you don't engage with this game as a sport. And you shouldn't care about these changes because you don't engage with this game as a sport. You're not part of the sport community, the esports community of Skullgirls or of a fighting game, X-fighting game. And I just find that really misguided and very strange. I don't know if I like the FGC. There are things about it that I like. I think it's cool that there's a lot of fun, unique people that come together, for the love of a game they love and a game they like to play together. And I kind of like the competitive aspect of it. It's cool that different people can find different answers in games and sort of optimize in certain ways. That's awesome. I think that's really cool. But I do think there's a strange cultural elitism is a lame word to use, but yeah, it's sort of like an entitlement of FGC players. The culture is really kind of gross. I just don't like it. The idea that and it might be the idea that like you take a game that you love and you sort of optimize it, you take the fun out of it, and the goal of the game isn't to appreciate the game for what it is, but to sort of like win at it. You know, like maybe there's some like deeper fucking philosophy to that. How like once you turn something into not a friendly competition, but some sort of like real competition, where there's usually like money in line or like potential connections or some weird shit like that, maybe something's lost, right? But in the case of this one, it seems so strange because it's not even that the game is changing. The game itself isn't changing. It's true. When FGC players go, the game isn't really changing. You know, you must not play the game because you should know that the game isn't really changing. Well, yeah, of course, nobody's saying that the game is changing, but fuck, the aesthetics are changing, right? Like, and again, the aesthetics are a huge part of why people love this game so much. You know, this isn't just like any other fighting game that like, I don't know, was built with the standards of the visual standards of its time. You have to remember, like, what games were out when this game came out. It was like Street Fighter 4, right? Like, and I don't know which Tekken, but like, yeah, it's just games that like had this like very like CG look. This not even a CG look. They were 3D models. You know, they had this like not so not so great, not so lovable style compared to Skullgirls, and you know, to act like these aesthetics don't matter is ridiculous because it was the main draw for the game. It really was. These designs, these sort of like beautiful drawings and the sort of risque fun that it had. You know, it's sort of indulgence to being a risque kind of like kind of like a just sexy game. You know, it is what it is. It is ingrained in its aesthetics. It is ingrained in its identity. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very strange argument. It just got me thinking. I don't like it. I definitely don't like when people say that. Yes, Skullgirls itself is still Skullgirls. I might not even know that because like Mike Z, who fired a bunch of people from its company, and like there was a huge drama about it because he was like doing inappropriate things in the office and stuff like that. Which morally, of course, you should leave your company. You should move out of your company if your boss like inappropriate and a dick. And yeah, but like undoubtedly that engine, that sort of like balancing, and then the design of Skullgirls, a lot of that like core design is thanks to Mike. And yeah, maybe it has changed because there's new teams on it, and it seems that the community in general is happy with how the game is. But the aesthetics are also highly personalized and highly personal to Alex Ahad, and he's also gone. And to tamper with that art, it just seems I don't know. It just seems wrong. Even if you think like, oh, Alex Ahad, he was hard to work with, his standards were too high, or he was like mean or something like that. I don't doubt these things happen. They are people. People are flawed. I shouldn't look at them as some sort of like idols or anything like that. They're not. I'm sure they have done bad things, but I don't know. It just seems like it just seems like a waste to ruin their art, right? I don't know. Maybe at some point some fans will restore Skullgirls to some sort of like ideal OG sort of Alex, Mike Z vision, and there'll be two Skullgirls, a sort of Skullgirls classic and a Skullgirls the current, and that'll be fine. I think that's fine, but it's a shame that I don't know. It's a shame that it just couldn't all be good.